Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the table at a dance competition? Exactly what are the judges looking for anyway? This is Making the Impact, a dance competition podcast. Each week, we'll cover a different topic related to the world of competitive dance from the perspective of the judges behind the table. The DanceOne A.C.E Awards recognize up-and-coming choreographers from across the country, and the 2025 awards showcased a wide variety of unique choreographic voices. Joining us today are the three runners-up, Tommy Tibball, Madi Hicks, and Jason Williams, and winner Courtney Barclay to share what their experiences were like as a part of this incredible competition.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year from Making the Impact. It's 2026. It's Courtney Ortiz, and I'm here with my co-host on the pod, Lesley Mealor.
Hey, Courtney, Happy New Year.
Yay, I can't believe it's a brand new year, which means a brand new comp season is right around the corner.
You know, it's crazy because it's 2026, and that means like the millennium and the whole like Y2K was 26 years ago. And then it occurred to me that like this decade, this era can rent a car now. You know, it's 26 years old. We're 26 years into, or like, I guess you can rent a car earlier than that. You just pay fees. Anyway, that's my thought process on 2026.
Wow, yeah. Remember the millennium? Remember when the world was going to end at the stroke of midnight on year 2000?
The drama. And it was really, people were really nervous. And then
nothing
happened and everybody looked around on like, you know, whatever it was, TRL's New Year's MTV, Rockin' New Year's Eve, whatever.
Oh my gosh,
and nothing happened. And people were like, well, moving on.
Yep. I feel like people were like, our computers are going to explode and like all these things, you know, there was all
everything
this
is
talk.
going to reset to year zero, like crazy. But no, we are still here.
We're here.
Everything is here and it's 2026. And are you ready for a new season of competitions?
I'm ready for a new year. I'm ready for a new season. I'm ready for, it's going to be a busy one. It's going to be a busy year like it always is in our world. We have a lot going on and a lot of traveling and judging and teaching and dance fun. But I'm really excited for it. So it's going to be a great year ahead, everybody. And what about you? Are you looking forward to 2026?
Oh, yes. There's a lot to do. We have a honeymoon to go on. We have honeymoon to plan.
Ooh.
I've got to work a lot of dance competitions in order to pay for this honeymoon. Yeah, so it's going to be a good year, and I'm excited about it, and hopefully see a lot of you dancers out there.
Yes. Well, we're here today in a brand new year on Making the Impact, and we're actually going to go back in time to 2025 summer in New York City at the A.C.E Awards. Now, this is an exciting event that is back in action, new as of last year. A lot of people may remember it as the Dance Teacher Summit. That was a really amazing event that was coming to the East Coast and the West Coast. They would kind of go back and forth with where it would take place back when it existed. It's like relaunched this past summer. And it's just a great place for dance teachers and studio owners to come and unite with one another, attend different types of classes, business seminars, attend an expo hall. It's like the place to be for continuing education for dance teachers. And I'm so glad that the summit is back and came back for its first time in about like a 5 or 6 year hiatus.
Yes. And Courtney and I had the opportunity to be at the show to see all of the contestants, all the choreography, and witness all the winners win. And it was a really, really, really cool event. Like Courtney said, you know, it's something that people look forward to. And everybody was so excited when it came back under the new rebranding of the DanceOne organization. So we are just so excited to speak with these people today and hear a little bit about their choreographic process, what the experience was like for them to be at the A.C.E Awards this year. So yeah, we're really looking forward to this chat today, and stay tuned with all of their social media and follow them when you get a chance, because there is a show that will be announced later this year where they will be able to take part and show more of their work. So stay tuned to hear more about that.
And shout out to DanceOne for sponsoring this episode. Today we're talking with the A.C.E Award winners. And if you're unfamiliar about what is the A.C.E Awards, it's a choreography competition and a very prestigious one because so many people look up to being named the winner of the A.C.E Awards. And there are some high-profile choreographers that you know today that started their career at the A.C.E Awards and being recognized there. So there were 17 different finalists who presented work at the A.C.E Awards this summer, and there were 4 winners this year, 2 second runner-ups, a first runner-up, and an official winner, who are all here at the same exact time, joining us right here, right now on the podcast, so we can dive in and learn about them and what their choreography process is like as a creator. So first up, I'm excited to welcome second runner-up of the A.C.E Awards, and also, she's been on the podcast before, Season 5, Episode 182, Pursuing a Career in Concert Dance. I'm excited to welcome back Madi Hicks from New York City. Welcome, Madi.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me back. I love all you do, and I'm super honored to be here. My name is Madi Hicks. I'm from New York City. I'm a choreographer, I'm an educator, I'm a dancer, and I'm just really grateful to be here in such amazing company with all these choreographers. Thanks for having me.
Yay! Welcome, Madi. All right, our next up is the tied for second runner-up winner. This is Tommy Tibball from New York City. Welcome, Tommy.
Hi, it's so good to be here. My name is Tommy Tibball. I currently travel around at many studios like across the country and teach. And my love for dance really stemmed from the concert world and from performing arts high school. I went right into opening up my own studio at the ripe age of 18. So choreography was my go-to right away. And I'm just excited to be here.
And studio shout out, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Studio.
Studio shout out, TKO Dance Academy, Queens, New York.
Let's go,
yeah,
Queens!
All Queens.
I'm in Astoria, so we're neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Welcome, Tommy. Thanks for joining us. All right, next up is a former guest on our podcast, and it was a great episode chat. It was a summer bonus episode from Season 4, Episode 149, a conversation on plagiarism in the dance industry. Y'all know I love to talk about it. And I'm so thrilled to welcome back the first runner-up at the A.C.E Awards, Jason Williams from New York City. Welcome, Jason.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yes, thrilled to have you back. And please refresh everyone's memory a little bit about you.
My name's Jason Williams. I'm originally from North Carolina. I did a long stint in LA. I did a stint in London. I've lived everywhere at this point. Vegas, London, New York. I'm currently in Paris. And yeah, I started dance when I was 3, and then I went into the professional world after high school. I was on So You Think You Can Dance, Season 2, rest in peace, Danielle. And yeah, my career's been going from there. A lot of TV and film, High School Musical, Fame, the remake, Hairspray Live. If it's been on TV and there has dancing in it, chances are I'm probably in it. I don't know at this point. But yeah, and then choreographing all along the way from studios to dance teams, New York Knicks, Laker Girls, TV, film, all the things. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Happy to have you back on the pod, Jason. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And the winner of the 2025 A.C.E Awards. I'm meeting her for the very first time right now, and we share the same first name. I'm excited to welcome Courtney Barclay from California. Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me. I am not too flashy at all. I'm born and raised in Southern California, and I would say I've made my 15-year-long career just in teaching kids. I'm the creative director of a studio called Evoke Dance Movement in Carlsbad and have been since day one. And that studio and working with those kids on the daily has allowed me to get my work out there enough such that I'm hired at studios all over the country, and I get to go to lots of different studios with lots of different competition tracks. So I'm able to flex a lot of different styles within contemporary. And I just choreograph and teach kids every year. And it's great. It's humble, but it's lovely.
Amazing. I love it. And I have a question right away off the bat for you, Courtney, and I guess it could be a quick question for everybody since I am curious about this. I heard a rumor while I was at the A.C.E Awards that your dancers were some of the youngest that were presenting work on stage. Is that true?
Yeah. My dancers are my students. And
wow.
Not one of them was a graduate, like a recent graduate, like 2025 graduate. So freshly graduated. And yeah, honestly, I think that that's kind of the magic of my work, specifically that piece for the A.C.E Awards, is because I've worked with some of those kids for 10 years. So it's not just the choreography, but it's also the teaching that's at the forefront of the work. So yeah, they were some of the youngest, but hopefully budding professionals soon enough.
Oh yeah, they're ready. They are so ready. They move beautifully. And
They really
Lesley
do.
and I were lucky enough to witness all. We got to sit in the
Yeah.
audience and watch the ACE Awards this summer, which was such a great show. It
Yeah.
was fantastic. Every single choreographer, if you're listening out
Right.
there
Shout
and you were a
out.
finalist, like shout out to you all, because I was taking notes as I was going. I was like, this is so hard. I don't know how they're going to make this decision, because every piece was so unique,
Yeah.
so innovative, really great like music choices and styles that we haven't seen, and just a really, really great show. So congratulations to all of you for your achievement here. And I'm so thrilled to learn more from you about your choreographic process, because a lot of people, I'm sure, look up to you now, especially seeing who were the winners and who got recognized and why. So I'd love to dive into this fun choreography chat with you all.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here, everyone. It's always amazing when we can get everybody's schedules lined up to make all of this happen. So thank you for doing whatever you did to make this happen. I want to start first of all because, Courtney and I were lucky enough to be there and witness all this work, which was awesome, but plenty of people did not. So I'd like to start with everybody describing their piece a little bit. Tell us the name of the piece, the style, and a little bit about why you chose to present this at the awards. And let's start with Tommy.
Yeah, so the style, I was always intrigued by just athleticism within dance and how I can fuse that into storytelling. I just feel like these songs were just two songs that were always on kind of like on the back burner for me, and they were never, I feel like, the right moment to use. So one of the titles of the song is The Deep Freeze, and the other is a pairing to it called Winter. It's music by The Big Scary, and they're like an awesome band that I've always admired. And the music just always spoke to me. I feel like it really just kind of came together where the two songs merged perfectly. And we did have length limits. So I knew I couldn't go over the 4 limit mark. So that was a little bit challenging, but I think overall just the music spoke to me right away. I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
And you had a smaller cast, actually, Tommy,
Yeah.
compared to most. I feel like Tommy and Courtney had the smaller cast. Madi and Jason had larger companies in your ensemble. So how many people were in your piece?
Yeah, so I had 9 dancers, which in my brain I thought was huge.
Oh, yeah.
So props to everyone that did more than that. Taking on 9, I was so overwhelmed. I will say that I run a studio 7 days a week. I teach 7 days a week at my studio. I choreographed probably 45 group numbers. This was something that I ran from 9 p.m. to midnight after I taught my classes at my studio. And just with 9 bodies and working with their schedules was a whole process. So once I actually went there and I saw 20 plus bodies, and I was like, how and what is happening? Like how, like just
Truly.
to everybody that had a bigger ensemble, because it was just I was just inspired. Yeah.
I've truly felt the same when I would see different casts come out. I'm like, how did
they keep coming?
Yeah, like how in the world did you get this many dancers' schedules to align? Especially if you're working with professionals or freelance dancers, because everyone has different types of jobs, and a lot of people, I'm sure, were donating time to do this. So, Madi, let's jump over to you. Same thing, because you had a large cast. How many were in yours?
I had 30, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane, but I just have to shout out so many people that made it possible, because I could have never done it alone. First of all, my composer, Ben Waters, created beautiful music. And this whole piece actually was originally created, shout out to Joe Lentieri, because it was created for the NYCDA Destiny Rising concert
cool.
to get more funding for their college foundation. So I had the impossible task to create a 30 cast piece in 2 days for that.
2 days?
So, yeah.
For Destiny Rising.
For Destiny Rising, yeah.
Wow.
So I did that last March. I prepped a ton with my assistant, and we made the whole piece so that we could come in and like set it, because it was like
smart.
30 kids
Yeah,
I've never even worked with before. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I made it, and I didn't expect much. And then I was in the audience, and I was like, I've never worked with that many numbers before. That's why I was really scared and also impressed at the end. I was like, oh, I really love like seeing so many bodies through the space. I felt like it was really powerful, and it showed this new side to my work. And so when I got into this, I was like, is it crazy if I try to reset this on professionals? And then that's my shout out to my incredible assistant, Nicole Hagan, because without her, she's the spreadsheet lady. And with all the spreadsheets of everyone's
Mm.
availability, we
Wow.
broke it down and found the days that 10 people could be there, the days that 10 people could be there, days that 10 people could be there. And those were the sections that those people automatically went into.
Okay.
Genius.
And then Saturday before the show on Sunday was our first rehearsal with everybody together. So
Wow.
it was like math. It was crazy.
It really does sound like math and spreadsheets. And I'm like, shout out to
Yeah.
the people in the creative world who can use a
Yeah.
spreadsheet because ew.
Yeah. Nicole Hagan. That's why, like, you
Come
gotta
on,
find
girl.
your people who
Yes.
can do things that you can't do.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it was a team. It took a village, and I was so grateful. I think that everybody that like donated their time and supported the work, I'm just so appreciative for. And the cast ranged from age like 20 to 35, so there was a
Wow.
wide range in my piece. But everyone I'd worked with before, I kind of have a good amount of people in New York that I pull from, and I've been creating a lot of films with and hiring for things. So everybody was just gung ho, and I'm really grateful.
Cool. And Tommy, were your cast members your students or were they other professionals or a combination?
No, it was such a combo. It was
Okay.
some were former students of mine.
Okay.
But I knew I wanted something that was just out of the competition
Mm-hmm.
realm for me. So I
Yeah.
purposely did not go to any of my current students. That was my main thing.
Gotcha.
I didn't want it to feel like favoritism I didn't want any pull on the kids.
Mhm.
I went and reached out to every person I've worked with at one moment in time. I pulled people from Florida. I pulled people from anyone that kind of stuck out to me that I've worked with in this crazy journey of just competition dance, but now they're grown professionals in the world.
Mhm.
Right.
And I just plugged them in from just all different places.
Nice. Okay. All right. Let's go on to Jason. Tell us all about your piece.
My piece was called The Experience, and it was a jazz piece.
Yes, it was.
It was some jazz. We were screaming.
I was screaming.
And I just wanted to come into the place and kind of like, I don't know, my personality. I like to walk in and like shake things up a little bit. And I knew that kind of majority would be like in the contemporary world with what they're presenting. And so I just wanted to come in like with some hard hitting, like in your face, like here we are, kind of vibes. I pulled dancers. All of my dancers were professional dancers. And they're people in shows. Like we had Colton, who's currently in Death Becomes Her, and they're all in all different aspects of the professional world in New York City. And I had an amazing assistant, Natalie Reed. Well, her maiden name's Reed, but it's Lesnar now. She was my assistant who helped me organize everything because I had around 30 dancers as well.
Wow.
And I just set the schedule and I said, if you can make it, if you can't, love you, see you next time.
Yeah.
But that's just this is the schedule, these are the times, and let me know, So I just kind of stuck to that, and that kept me without having to think about other people coming in and out or whatever. And so everyone just made it work. The dance was, very cathartic for me and for the dancers. And I wanted it to be, it really was emotional for me because it really it like drove home the intention that I had. And I wanted everyone to just feel like they were watching like inside of a dance studio. Like I wanted it to be reminiscent of the time that you were taking that jazz class at your studio, like you were taking Frank Hatch's class at BDC, or like
Yes.
that night at the studio that everyone's so full out and the mirrors are fogged out. Like those good days back in the studio. That's what I wanted it to like feel like. And I knew that a lot of dance teachers would understand because, like they were like my teacher growing up was such a jazz dancer. And I knew that a lot of teachers there would understand the symbolism of it all.
Yeah.
And they all came up to me and they were like, I was that girl. I was in that number. Like,
yes.
And I was like, good. Love it. Okay.
And everybody was so sweaty. And like you said, I could just envision like the sweaty mirrors and the sweaty windows. And
well, we did. We had like, what's it called? Like sunblock spray that we all like we sprayed on each other to make us like look sweaty.
Yeah.
And we actually used
it worked.
a silicone like lubricant to put in the hair to make it look like sweaty.
Oh.
Yeah. It felt very Flashdance.
yeah, that's what I wanted it. Even how it started, like I wanted it to feel like, You learn the combo. All right, here we go. Like very kind of like chorus line 2005.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great description because it definitely felt that way. It was, and I feel like everyone was highlighted in a great way, and just pot of beret across the
Yes.
stage.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was
Amazing. Triplets.
loving
They
it.
were everywhere.
Yes, love, love, love. All right, Courtney, the winner. What inspired this piece? How did you create it? Describe it for us. Tell us more.
Okay, my process is super, super different. Because I teach and create all the time, I didn't create a piece specifically for the ACE Awards. This piece is actually from a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, 2022. I've been sitting on this song for a long time. The song is called Here Comes River by Patrick Watson, who is a beautiful singer, composer. He makes the most beautiful, like ethereal yet grounded music. And grounded is always my vibe, grounded and honest. And my daughter, I have 2 kids. And so my process is always like derived from where I am like as a mother and balancing that with a career. And I was about to go into a fall season of choreography, and this song just hit me. And it hit me right at as I was starting to travel and leave home and not be a mom and just be a choreographer. And the song is just about bracing for impact, essentially, seeing the big river of everything in your life coming at you and knowing that it's just going to wash over you and you have to take it. And so the song is beautiful and inspirational always. I created it slow and steady on my dancers. I was able to select 7 dancers randomly that year, 7 beautiful artists, honest dancers that trusted me. And we just created in 30 minutes each week, we created little bits of this organic, lovely, authentic moment. And then in applying for the ACE Awards, it's kind of like I need to sort of reinvent or establish the second part of my career now that I am a full-fledged mother and can get back into my career. And so I knew I needed to apply for the ACE Awards just to kind of get a spark going again. And this was the piece that I picked because regardless of any external validation or lack of, I loved the piece. I loved the process. I loved the dancers. I loved how I felt in it. I loved how the song makes me feel even after hearing it 50 times. And so I knew that I'd be able to have tough skin if I didn't get selected. And then obviously being selected was truly amazing. And then the process in New York was phenomenal with those students. And I don't know, the whole process was just sort of a celebration of my career thus far and where I have been, and now looking forward where I am potentially going. So
Wow.
totally, totally different. But yeah.
It was such a beautiful piece. I mean,
Thank you.
And again, even just also knowing that those dancers were younger students, they were truly dancing like professionals. And the whole like follow through of your story, it was so clear and just very, very well executed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And as with everyone's, and something that I want to mention as someone who watched all 17 pieces, for me, as I was observing and taking notes and trying to decide like who would I pick, things like that, I felt like that it came down to execution for me. Because even though it is a choreography competition, right? You're judging the choreography when everything is so good.
Right.
It's sometimes hard to get past if the execution wasn't as strong as it could have been, even though you see what the choreographer was going for. But the dancers weren't executing it to the extent that it needed to be comparatively better than the one before or after it. So I think that was an interesting observation for me watching more of a choreography competition that I do think can translate into competitive dance too, right? When you're like, okay, who executed it better? But I could see the visions in all of your pieces come to life because of the cast of dancers that you hand selected for it, whether they were hand selected or they happen to be available and can make it happen,
Sure.
Because if you, like in Jason's scenario, like you said, like, hey, these are the dates you can do it or you can't. What if like some of your favorite dancers that would have been your hand selects couldn't swing it? Then that's just, now you're picking other dancers and you're hoping that they're going to be at the level that you need. You know what I mean? And like, that's the hard puzzle piece too of something like this, that it is a choreographic competition that you're funding yourself and you're making this happen. And people are oftentimes donating or getting a small stipend or whatever it is. So that was an observation that I was taking in as I was watching. And I was like, wow, this is tough, like to make these visions come to life. And y'all succeeded at that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think in my process was like, yeah, I said that these are the dates and these are the times. Let me know, like, either you can make it or not. But it was like a curated group chat.
Exactly.
Just
You
that
still hand
message.
selected them.
Yeah, yeah, that
You
wasn't
didn't
just like
post it on
all
your Instagram story and was like,
right. No, no, no.
come join the experience. Like,
I just like sent it out to as many people that I knew obviously from like teaching in New York. Like I have a good repertoire of dancers that I can pull from. And so
right.
I was like, I know that all these dancers can execute. So like within these who can, and then
Yep.
those that showed up and
Exactly.
slayed.
Yes, they did.
Amazing. They did. Everybody did.
Mhm.
I want to know, so when did you apply? When did you find out? Like, what's the timeline of this situation? And then did you have parameters in terms of rehearsal process, or did they just say, show up with a piece once you got in?
You could actually submit a piece of choreography, and that's not necessarily the piece that you had to have in the show. Yeah,
Oh,
so
interesting.
it was pretty open ended, and there weren't any parameters as in terms of it had to be a freshly filmed
Mhm.
piece, it had to be a brand new piece. Yeah, no parameters. Not that I saw or
Yeah.
adhered
Yeah,
to.
I think they asked for I think it was a max of 4 minutes. Is that right for our
Yeah.
for the show? And
Mm.
I remember when I saw that, it was like I don't have a 4 minute piece that I feel confident in because
Ah,
a lot of my work for the concert world is like 10 minutes minimum. But I had this piece that I mentioned I did for Destiny Rising was actually 6 minutes. So I submitted a little longer and just like put in it. Please consider. I'll cut it down. I promise.
Yeah.
And then luckily they were like totally it's fine, just make sure it's for the show, and then I just cut it down. But that is what I submitted, just a longer version.
Okay.
No, I was just curious. Did everyone do the piece that they submitted? Did yeah?
I
ah,
Yeah,
did.
I did.
I did.
oh,
Oh, I didn't.
you
And you
didn't?
didn't.
No,
Okay,
no.
interesting.
And what,
Yeah,
so Jason, why did you make that choice?
as my
Ah,
spirit said, do something different.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
I'm very
Yeah.
spirit driven when it comes to dance. Like, and what I submitted was the opening number from my show that I did in New York last year
Mm-hmm.
at the O'Neilly Theater. And it was the opening number, and it was very joyful, and like it was very funky and groovy, and kind of like a step touchy vibe. And I just knew that I wanted to like come in like a little bit like more like,
Mm.
and I taught that combo. Actually, the crazy thing is, I had this combo in my archive on my phone from 2012. And it
Wow.
was a combo. It was just a combo that I made up to
Yes.
pump it up one day. And then I kind of pulled it back and I was like, that's fun. And so I
Mm.
taught it at steps just to see like what the vibe would be, like what the reaction would be. And everyone was like, oh my God. And then it like kind of went viral as far as like the combo. And I was like, okay, well, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And so I then turned it into, because it was pump it up, like, pump it up, you guys.
Don't you
And it's a
know?
song that
Pump
like
it up.
everyone
So good.
knows. And it's kind of like, it's one of those songs that's like, why? But when I don't know, it does something to my spirit. I don't know. And so I just was like, let's just go with that. And so I ended up switching to that. And
Okay.
I only did the week prior to the ACE Awards was my rehearsal period. So
Oh,
we
wow.
maybe had like 5 days
Wow.
prior to, yeah, just because
Was
I wanted
everyone
to consolidate it.
Hmm.
I have two more questions that are coming as we were talking. Did everyone do like we just said 4 minutes, but did you do a 4 minute piece or was anyone shorter than 4 minutes?
Mine was like 3:52.
Okay. So we were leaning more towards the 4 versus like a 2 minute or a 3. We wanted
Yeah.
to take the maximum amount of time that we could
And I
use.
was like a 4:10.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
you
We
broke
won't
the
tell.
rules, Maddie.
It's qualified.
Technically, the music ended at 4:02, and then we had a slow walk off. So
Okay, okay,
Perfect.
okay.
So yeah,
We'll take
you're
it.
good. And then
Yeah.
speaking of music, would you say in your choreographic process is music one of the first things that you use to begin your creation, or are you creating a phrase and then finding music that matches, or do you come up with a theme or a vibe, and how does it work? What's the process looking like? Whoever wants to go, you could
I'll go. I mean, no one's
go.
speaking.
Tell us, Jason.
Music leads me into whatever direction it wants to go, and that's why um, the Jason Williams experience is the experience because it's an experience for me. I don't know what my classes are until I'm told. And some days it's a song that I hear in a coffee shop, and I'm like, oh, this French ballad. Yeah, that's great. We're gonna do that, and
Yeah.
so it's like it's always led by music first, and then kind of whatever that music does for me internally or mentally, and then I create according to. But it's song first for me for sure.
Me too. I can't I can't physically choreograph to anything that doesn't like connect to me honestly and connect to with my experiences in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's usually always about some sort of internal struggle, but I have to relate it to that. And then if I have a dancer or a group of dancers, the subject has to be applicable to them. So usually I don't do anything about love because I think it's weird with kids to choreograph about love. So yeah, always music driven, has to connect to me on a deep emotional level, and then has to connect to the subjects that I'm choreographing for because they more so than me have to connect to it purely and honestly. Otherwise, the work doesn't make sense.
Hmm. So it sounds like intention is talked about, especially when you're working with younger students.
Yes.
And I think that that's something that's often lost when I see dances at competition in particular. Not that, but
Yes.
we all teach kids at competition, judge kids at competition.
Yes.
It's like, it's very clear when the dancers know what they're dancing about or don't know what they're dancing about.
Mhm.
And
Right.
or if the topic or the theme is going completely over their head and it was a
Yes.
choice by an adult that they just really wanted to get this piece out. And it's
Yeah.
like, but the dancers
Or
don't
was it
even
even-
know.
Yeah,
what's
it wasn't even
in-
discussed.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Just make this face here, do this contraction here, and it's supposed to be angry or whatever. Yeah.
Just to me, that idea in and of itself should is a crime. Like we're teaching kids how to feel through movement. So to plaster something on them that they don't feel genuinely and authentically makes no sense. And I almost think it's in some ways can be very wrong to do that to a child, Anyway, my 2 cents.
Go, Maddie.
I was just saying, in addition to intention, which I think go hand in hand, is my work is like so grounded in quality and my studying of quality and how to create it and how to educate with it. And the educating part is very challenging. I personally have like to keep the studios I go to very minimal and ideally relatively local because I think it's really hard for me to transfer everything I want qualitatively into a group piece in one day and leave.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
And I've
You're
just
right.
so many times like watched it months later and been like,
Where did it go?
Where did it
Yeah.
go? So yeah, I think that my work is so about feeling and how we hold feelings in our bodies and how we can express that. And I wanted to create a piece that showed the power in that. And I needed dancers that I think the most beautiful thing is very, very patient dancers who can hold space. Like they don't need to be doing a million things to hold that space. So that's hard to find, I think. And I'm grateful I had 30 of that.
I was about to say, and you found 30 of them, so that is amazing.
Dance educators, leaders, and innovators, this one's for you. Get ready for the DanceOne Summit in 2026, the experience for studio owners and teachers shaping the future of dance to unite, share, and inspire. This is where passion meets growth, where creativity meets business strategy, where you connect with a powerful community that understands your hustle. Attend the DanceOne Summit for impactful movement classes, hands-on workshops, business seminars, and exclusive industry insights. Plus, an epic expo hall packed with the latest in costumes, tech, and tools to elevate your studio. Whether you're looking to strengthen your teaching, build your business, or spark fresh inspiration, the DanceOne Summit is where it all comes together. Coming to you this summer 2026. Mark your calendars for August 13th through 16th in New York City. And we have an exclusive promo code at Making the Impact for $100 off your registration. Use the promo code 100 Summit 2026. That's the number 100 Summit 2026 for an extra $100 off your registration at the DanceOne Summit. Learn more and secure your spot today at danceonesummit.com. And Madi, do you start with music or no?
Again, I had amazing music from my composer. He's brilliant, and I love the music. I think it carries the piece. Like, I think without that music, we wouldn't have placed. But I do think I start with a feeling usually, and then I find music that backs my feeling.
Well, so wait, did you like have this piece of music commissioned, or did you go to him and say, "Do you have something for me?"
What? Okay, so he commissions a lot for me, but this was when I went to him for the Destiny Rising, and I was like, I want something original that feels like this. And he's also a dancer in the company. He was like, I am so busy. What do you think of this that I have? And sent me some things. So it is his original work, but I believe this one was more like, what do you think of this?
Got it.
Cool.
That's really cool.
I wish more people did that. I mean, I don't know. We spend so much money. It is expensive.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I feel like that this makes sense for you to invest in a unique original music for another unique original piece of art that you're creating for a choreography competition. You know, like last thing you want is to get to a choreography competition and have the same song as somebody else, you know?
So another Jar of Hearts.
You're
Thank
like,
Yes. I love Jar of Hearts, though.
Never mad when it comes on, but
never mad, but too many of them.
Yes.
Exactly. Tommy, what's your process with music?
Music for me for sure has to come first. I like my car is my sanctuary. I know, like, born and raised New York City, and people are like, wait, you drive everywhere? Like, my car is where, which is probably so unsafe. The music needs to like, I have like 4,000 songs just on shuffle, and I never know what I'm gonna get. I'm just constantly shuffling, and I'm like full of, like, I always say whatever car is next to me looks over. It's crazy. Like, there's no, and I'm like, sometimes I'll get to the place. I'm like, how did I get there?
Right.
Like, I don't, that's why I'm like, maybe it sounds unsafe. I fully have no clue sometimes how I go place to place. I have a full like 3-minute piece by the time I'm done, but I'm kind of in like a blackout mode. I'll drive, I get there. Like, it's what hits me in the car. I'm like, oh, this is hitting. Like, I always say, like, I don't care about music until it's in my car speakers. I need to know if it hits on those speakers.
In the car.
Yes.
Special. I think a lot of our listeners will relate because a lot of our listeners listen in the car. So I definitely think there's teachers out there who do the exact same thing.
Okay, so more things that I'm thinking of as I'm sitting here and replaying your dances in my head, and a lot of the dances from the ACE Awards. There was quality that you were talking about, Madi, style, technique happening on stage. There wasn't really many tricks in sight on that stage at the ACE Awards. There was understanding of connecting our movements and transitions and dynamics that also matched the style of the individual choreographer. I really felt like that the dancers in each piece really understood that style vocabulary that made that choreographer's voice unique, which is why they even got into the competition in the first place. And they were able to bring that out and display it to the audience. Anything else, even connecting to your own pieces that you felt like existed, that maybe made your piece stand out or made you a finalist in an award like this? Because I want to just kind of emphasize the fact that tricks didn't exist because in competition land, we think that that's all that matters.
Right.
And this was a choreography competition where 4 of these the choreographers that are here right now, I'm really trying to play back. I'm like, there might have been like a double pirouette maximum somewhere. There might have been like a beautiful, like elongated tilt that falls off the leg that gets passed off into the hands of someone else or something like that. But what was the type of quality of movement that was displayed in your pieces or that you witnessed from others that you felt like might be different than what you see at competition?
I think, like Madi said, the quality, I think, is paramount. I think that when you're choreographing an original work or an intentional piece of art, I think that a double turn, unless it's like a killer double turn in a jazz heel boots in Jason's, right? Like, I don't think a double turn like translates to anything emotional or intentional or indicative of the music. So I think with us and with the choreography we're displaying at this level, I guess, it's about texture and it's about patience and it's about that quick transition from hard to soft that matches and pairs perfectly with the music. I think there are so many other creative ways to express. And I don't think in this landscape, a trick or a leg has any resonance compared to stillness or compared to a nice deep contraction or compared to eye contact with your fellow dancer on stage. So,
Right.
yeah.
I agree.
When being an observer from all of these, one of the things that stood out to me was the there's clear technique in every single piece, and the technique informed the style and informed the quality of movement. So like you said, Courtney, even in Jason's piece where it was like I was looking at jazz technique. And for me, like I prefer to see a technical piece over something that is a little bit more emotional. Like I really resonated with Jason's piece because it made me feel like I was in that time and place. Like that it put me right there. And it was because of the technique being displayed. And so, but even in a tap dance, I was looking at some of the tap pieces, which was really cool, to see tap displayed in such a, like we were saying, like a high level, sort of competition. Even some of the quote unquote tricky things you see in tap do take a huge level of technique. And again, from the amount of people that were there, it was really, really refreshing to see like sharp, clean, just beautiful, beautiful technique from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the styles that,
Yes, right.
because there was every style of dance.
Yeah.
But majority contemporary, have to say.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of variation within the contemporary styles that we all saw.
But there was no
distinct.
mistaking what we were seeing. And I think that's kind of like once you get up to this level, there is no ambiguity about what I am looking at. I am looking at jazz technique. I am looking at contemporary technique.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is nice.
That's what brings me to what I was going to say. I, as someone who worked on conventions and competition world, I would see jazz and I was like, this isn't jazz. This is contemporary movement to a jazzy song. This isn't jazz. And so that's why I really wanted to emphasize like jazz, like the root, the heart, the soul being the operative word there of jazz, and bringing it to the forefront of this is jazz. There's no there's everything evolves and everything shifts, but like this is jazz. Like this is what this is. You can style it differently, you can slow it down, you can speed it up, but like ultimately this is the soul of jazz and like the root of jazz, coming from a place where as like a Black queer man and really identifying myself in an early age as a jazz dancer and understanding the roots of jazz and where it comes from, and just being able to display that over through the stage. There was like some whacking moments, there was like jazz technique, there was like Africa, there was like all of that emerged into it. And I think that the technique stuff, like, for me, less is more. And I think for all of us, less is more. And so like when it was a tricky thing, it was like, okay, so let's just do leg down. Like it doesn't need to be a lot. We all can do that, but just let's do a nice little click, just a flick, make it hot, and then put it back down, and then go back to the jazz waltz, or like go back to the stair, So it's just like splashes of it just to show it's like, okay, this is what we're working on with, and this is what it is. But it wasn't relying upon the choreographer. I was not relying upon tricks from anybody,
I think that we're saying is, technique and tricks are two different things, like we all, believe, and technique supports the tricks, sure, but technique supports movement. And we all use the technique to support our movement for sure, but left out the tricks. For me, I just feel like they're a little bit like they lack the intention. And I think that I could speak for all of us and all the choreographers that every piece felt very Jason, very Courtney, very Madi, very Tommy. And I think that we're seasoned artists. We've studied and analyzed and grown in many directions in order to, like, I know I couldn't have made what I made and presented even 2 years ago. So it's, it's just a testament to how much experience and work that we all put in to find our unique voices.
Yeah. I think that is so important for choreographers to discover for themselves. And that's why you all are successful and recognized, is because you have put the work in to find your voice. And there are a lot of choreographers out there who have dreams of this is what I want to do, but they still haven't found their voice or their identity as a creator. And I think that, it takes time. You have to be patient with yourself, trial and error, getting feedback from other people. All of those things matter for anyone listening who is aspiring to be one of these 4 choreographers one day, or maybe considering entering into one of the choreography competitions that exist out in our industry, you know, be patient with yourself and finding the right group of dancers to work on, being inspired by the music, figuring out your creation process is really important. And another thing also, like connecting back as a guest choreographer too, and for all of the studio owners out there listening who heard that all of these choreographers, majority of them like to have music influence them. They have to be inspired by the music to then create something magical. If you're a guest going into a studio and the studio says, I want you to create to this song, that is going to prevent us from creating our best work, most likely, unless like we are loving the jam. But you also have to ask, like, do you like it? Do you connect to this? Because it's going to be a very different dance than if you trusted the choreographer for their vision to give you what works for them. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that as guest choreographers?
Yeah.
Go, Tommy.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important. I feel like my life right now was kind of in that sentence that you just said. I find myself like growing, which is great. Adding studios to my list and branching out, but within that, I'm finding a certain feel of like, what if you did this? And like, I have this song, or which is the new thing, which I'm on the fence about still, but they want to dance to this, or it's something that and I'm always like, what? Like, I'm like, but you're hiring me, like my vision. What am I feeling right? You know, what am I inspired to do on your kids? And that will be the best product. That should be the final product, whatever, you know, trust me, what I'm, you know, my pathway, whatever it is, that you're hiring me for that reason. Whatever piece you saw that inspired you to hire me came from a deep place that it took time. This was the song, this was the progression, this was the vision. And it's almost like, there's almost like a fast track to, I guess, because I'm a studio owner also, so I see it both ways. And I own my studio, and I'm, you know, we rarely have guest choreographers come in. I said a lot of it, but I always wondered, like, would I ever even say, like, hey, can you do this? Like, I wouldn't, just because I know the other side, I would feel like that would just deflate the choreographer before the process even started. So I think it's so important to trust the people that you're hiring. And there's no, I would say, my advice would be there's no fast track to, because you heard a cool song in the car that, oh, and they're a great choreographer, that aligns. That always does not align. And it doesn't work that way. So trust us, because that's why you're hiring us.
Exactly.
I will say I vet the studios that I go to like extensively. Like, and when I mean vet, I am like, send me all the videos, send me every single kid, give me a ranking of the kid from like number 1 to 15. I need to know every single ounce of information about those kids as humanly possible, because then I can then be inspired by a song, or I can understand what track, what sort of dance might behoove them, right? Like, on my students at Evoke in Carlsbad, I can create and explore because I have time and I have trust. But on a weekend in 10 hours, I don't have that. So it's important that I get it right for them. And if that means that I'm choreographing something super different than my heart and soul would create naturally, then that's fine. I just need to know what that direction is, and I need to be inspired within that lane. And I'm okay with that lane because I'm getting paid for that lane. But I just need to make the right choice.
Yeah. Everybody needs to be on the same page about like what the expectations are and what the end product is going to be.
Yes.
A lot of the times, if I go into a studio that I haven't worked with before, I also like, you know, scan their Instagram and stuff as well. But one of the things, and I know I'm crazy, and for this, a lot of people are like, Jason, you're wild. I kind of enjoy being thrown into like a big question mark room. I
challenge.
kind of enjoy it, because then I'm like, let's work with what this is. Let's make this clay the best version of it. Like, I've gone into some studios that like don't win, but then when I leave, they win because I made them look like, I'm like, oh, I can make you look good. I can work with this, and like, well, okay, so only you have a leg, so only you can, like, we'll play with it, you know. I kind of find it fun. I kind of find it fun. I know it's crazy, but I kind of do. Sometimes I ask for, most of the times I ask for, if I haven't worked with them before, I ask for a master class before I get started.
Yep.
And within the master class, I'm like, it's open to everyone in the studio because I might see someone that you might not have picked to be in this number that is someone that I need. And so
Mm.
I'll just kind of cultivate the space there. And a lot of the times, I mean, I think I've built enough trust. I think people have trust me enough to come in and just kind of, they're like carte blanche, like whatever, like sometimes in the middle of the studio and I'm like, do you have hats? And I'm
Uh-huh.
and they're like,
Somewhere.
I'm like, do you have a bench? And I just like literally just in the moment create.
Yep.
I like creating on the spot like that. I don't do much pre-pro. I just like going in and getting dirty and
Mm.
making it happen. Yeah.
Lucky.
I
Lucky.
know.
Yeah.
It
It's
is,
years.
it's
It's
really cool.
years of it. It's years of it, and it's years
Yeah.
of, and it's work that I've done with myself of trusting my own dopeness
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and
Yes.
trusting that if it comes to my mind, then it's good. And also being okay with telling someone, a kid in the room, that that's not it. So if I'm like, do
Uh-huh.
this and this, I'm like, that I love you. That does not look good on you.
Right. We're
So
going to try something else.
I don't have time to teach you how to make that look good. So
Right.
you're just not in this part. Next, come
Correct.
on, like moving forward. It's a work environment. Like I'm like, this is not personal. This is
Right.
a process, and you're
Right.
now in it, and this is very indicative of what it will be in the real world. So like, no hard feelings, and and it always usually 99%. I can't really think of a time where there was like, a broken heart afterwards. It normally like they're like, oh my god, they feel involved. They feel a
Right.
part of.
Right.
They're
The
like, oh no,
creation.
she's better with this part. She should
Yeah.
do it, and I'm like, yay! And it becomes very involved in that way.
Mm.
And
So
that is
that's
one of
just
those things that like it is a learning experience for the kids too when you approach things that way. And
Right.
even for the parents, you have a lot
right,
of parents out there. Why is she in the back row? Why is she never in the
right,
front? Well, because she's important back there too. The back there
right,
person's just as important. If we don't have the back there person, then there's nobody back there.
Or
right.
it's
Yeah,
it's there was one time I went in as a guest choreographer and I guess I picked a dancer for a feature that never gets picked for anything, and then like the mom comes up to me after, oh my gosh, you've
changed
completely
her life. Yeah.
you changed my dancer's life. Like this means so much. You have no idea, and I'm like, I don't know, I was just doing my thing in the moment, that person was doing that best, so I picked them. Like, and I've sort of as a creator become similar to you, Jason, where like when I first started as a young choreographer, I was so stressed. I had to walk in with like at least a handful of phrases prepped and ready, and I would like have a whole minute of the dance created. And then I learned that sometimes they can't execute it and I'm going to have to change it anyway. So why am I doing all this pre-prep if they can't even do it? And now I'm at a point where I just like, as long as I have a song that I vibe with, then I can walk in and I can start to create. But I think the challenging aspect for me and I know some of you shared your process length for ACE Awards, but it's the time restraint that's hard.
Yeah.
That the hard part for me is getting things done in this amount of time when you're limited. And I know even for ACE, you guys had that. Like Jason, you said you only had the week leading up. Madi, you did it in chunks and then pieced it all together. And then Tommy, you were doing it post a whole night of teaching at 9 o'clock until midnight, like, so how much time collectively did you as the choreographer, let's say it includes pre-pro rehearsal time. Oof. I want to have an idea for a 4-minute piece. How long does that take a choreographer to create?
For me, for ACE Awards specifically, obviously we do our choreography weekly. So 30 minutes each week for 3 months, I guess, which I mean, a half an hour, 30 minutes is like, it's like really like 20. It's like 15 when you get in, you review the material. It's like insane.
That's
So like
crazy.
4 counts of 8.
That's crazy.
Maybe you get
That's insane.
2 counts of 8.
Nothing done.
No,
Right.
I
There's no
couldn't
way.
do that. There's
I'm
no
a
way to do that.
procrastinator as well. I procrastinate. So usually I'm like, let's dwindle this time down. And it's not the funnest process. Sometimes it creates more organic phrases that are a little bit more like day by day, which is kind of cool. But when I go in to create something on a weekend, I need like at least 10 hours now. And I don't know if it's because my work has become more intricate, more detailed. There's so many movement patterns and I need everything to flow correctly and I need everything to make sense. Like I will get caught on a move and be like, it says breath. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I will have to do the right thing all the time, not just a thing, a good enough thing. I have to do the right thing because I'm whatever. So 10 hours, but even then, sometimes I just can't get there, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so hard.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've never left the studio having not finished. And I always end up with more
Yeah.
time than I need.
Oh, that's good.
That's
It's a good
good.
thing.
And yeah, like that is, and that's just, I mean, I can think of one of the studio owners that I teach for in Canada. It's like, I can hear her voice now. Cause I'll be like, just give me Friday and Saturday, give me Friday, Saturday, and like half day Sunday. Like, I'm just like, just clear the kids' schedule and tell them that
Sure.
they're at the studio. Like, they're just
Yeah.
with me. It's my weekend, and the
Uh-huh.
parents get to go do whatever they want. Like, bring lunch, bring a sleeping bag, whatever, we're here. And
Right.
then I'll let you go when I'm done. Like, and we're usually just kind of like in and out. We just kind of like bunker down and get it done. Like, but
Yeah.
yeah, 10 hours is usually a solid, once it's for me, it's like once I get the intro, like the first 20 seconds, the first paragraph, then we're good to go. But that first paragraph can take me about like maybe an hour, 2 hours,
Yeah,
so.
totally. And then for your dance for the ACE Awards, how long did that take?
I would say probably like 12 hours.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 18. Yeah, 12-ish hours. We were
Easier when
done.
you're working with pros and
Right.
dancers that you know too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were done by Ace Awards was on a Saturday, right?
Yes.
Was it on a
Yeah.
Saturday or Friday?
Yeah.
Saturday night.
We were done like maybe Thursday, and then we just kind of like ran it Friday and
Me too.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
we
like
were
again,
really.
with the people who are listening, like this was just the whole process, including cleaning, like including getting
Right.
it tight. Like
Right.
Oh, and
Stage
then
ready.
wardrobe. And then wardrobe was a whole nother thing because
Ooh.
I need the looks. I went through everyone specifically, like hair, makeup,
Uh-huh.
eyelashes. Like I get very down to like accessories. Like I need the look to look.
Yes.
Yeah, I had some girls take off their nails. I was like, that nail color, we
Oh.
can't do that. Like it's very. I just like it to. I want it to look like a company, like a full fledged
Right.
overall look. But yeah, it's a full process for us all. And then
Okay,
I think
Maddie.
some of our members, some of our people were in each other's stuff. Like
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
me and
Yes.
that's true.
Jason shared a
I was gonna
few.
we
say,
Yeah.
yeah.
shared. Yeah, we
Yeah.
shared.
Too
Oh,
much.
you shared some of your dancers.
Yeah.
So they were
Yeah.
playing double duty.
Because
Dude,
we had similar sized casts, we have similar communities in New York, and I remember I talked to a few of mine, and they were like, "It does surprisingly works with Jason's schedule." So yeah, and I was like, "Heck yeah,
Magical.
Wow. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought I recognized dancers coming back out for round 2 in another dance. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, didn't I just see
and
them on stage?
completely different genres too. So that
right,
Yeah.
just goes to the dancer. Like we had like these dancers are so like versatile
yeah,
and just can do whatever, and it was just cool to see that.
Right, it
yeah."
was.
So versatile. They were like killing it, sassy in Jason's, and then coming out like so calm and it was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'll echo what everyone said. I think it depends on the piece and where I'm going and what I'm working on. And but for this, I mean, everybody on their own probably spent significantly less time than me. But I guess if I put it all together, I would say like 15-ish hours. And if we're counting like spreadsheets and meetings,
Nice.
we're
I
up
mean,
to
that
like
counts.
20.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like again, like just it took a village. Like I also was really picky about the costumes, and I bought a ton. I bought like 50 because there were 30. I bought like 50 different versions of white mesh. And then on the side, actually some of the dancers we shared, like Natalie, they were really into it. They were cutting all of them and helping me with it while I'm working on other sections. And like it was just really incredible, everybody coming together. But yeah, costumes take a while, scheduling takes a while. It all takes a while
Yeah.
to put your heart and soul into something. Wasn't going to throw it on stage, not being so proud of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tommy, how many rehearsals did y'all have?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we rehearsed like that Monday. I think, like Jason said, we were done around the Thursday.
Mm.
Oh, so just the week leading
Yeah,
in.
we like started on the Monday. It was
Wow.
probably
Wow.
like 9 to 12 Monday through Thursday. And again, I think that's why I explored outside of my competition kids. Because number one, they were already in class with me. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it was like, bye.
Too
And
much.
then like people were coming in. I remember them still looking like, who are these people coming in? Like we were like, it was like the night shift. I was calling it TKO after dark. It was a different vibe. And just I mean, I'm so thankful for them. It was just, whatever I threw at them, they were like, oh, you want me to move? How? Like the movement really derived from like the pelvis. Like I started with, it was an improv. I just improv like for probably 4 hours, like a week before that. And I just pulled little pieces and bits and pieces of things that I liked in my own improv. And I sent it to them and I was like, study this, whatever this is. I was like, we're moving, like, how would a soul move and how it, like, it originates from I kept coming back to this pelvis movement and it ended up being all over in my piece. So I was like, get ready for your, like, they came in on day 2 and they were like, my glutes, like, they were like, I was like, I told you it's going to be like, everything is going to derive from the pelvis. So yeah, it was about like a total, I would say like 10 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's actually less than I expected, to be honest, about everybody's creation, because I feel like something that you're so proud of that you're going to put into something as prestigious as a choreography competition, you know, as perfectionists like we are in our creative process, you can continue to analyze and look and change this and edit that and sculpt this. But it sounds like that a lot of us didn't have the time to be able to do that. Like, I'm sure you probably watch your dancer, oh, I would have changed that section, or I would have, you know, tweaked this or whatever. But sometimes there's a deadline and you got to get a dance on stage. And that's what it ended up being. And it was, you know, everything that you could have dreamed of. And maybe if you revisit it, there might be modifications and things like that. But that's the hardest part about being a creator, I think. And I think what's so special about what your situation, Courtney, even though you only have 30 minutes a pop, which feels like you can't get anything done, at least you can kind of keep revisiting it and then retweaking and readjusting and things like that.
That's the one thing that is great about working with kids or students or whoever, dancers, each week, is you get the ability to edit and come back and revisit if things feel wrong. I will say, leading up to the rehearsal, leading up to the ACE Awards, so they had done the piece and competed the piece 2 years ago, but then execution, speaking of execution, we did spend another probably total like 8 hours, like here and there, cleaning. Because you can clean them into still feeling authentically, that it can still look great. You know, you don't have to strip it away of authentic emotion and attention. It can still be clean and great. So we did spend time continuing to work on that.
With that, I want to just like highlight what you just said, especially knowing that all the other 3 were working with professionals, adults, and you are working with kids, like older kids, like teenagers, like 15 and older. That cleaning probably does need to take time for a student because they're a student. Right. They need that 8 hours of cleaning. Yes. Professionals are expected to be clean right away. And that's the difference.
That's true.
And that is the difference between becoming a pro and not being ready to be a pro.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Y'all, there's no time for cleaning. When you become a pro, you better be clean.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that is the most, that's again, when execution comes into play.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it's like, if you would have put that same dance, like if we would have put Jason's dance on students, 15-year-olds, it wouldn't be the same dance that I watched at the ACE Awards.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Same with Madi, same with Tommy's. It would not be the same dance because and in the same restrictions of time without a cleaning rehearsal.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And I remember saying that to you, Courtney, like literally at the event. I was like, they're all so clean.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew that nobody had spent a year and a half on this dance with the same people every week, like a competition studio does, you know, or any kind of studio. But that's just, it really does go to show that, like, once you get to a certain level, cleanliness is just the expectation. Yeah. There's no other way to do it.
I do also want to give them a little bit of credit. I don't think I could have hired 7 professionals that would have done my routine like my students said. So I think that there is something also very important about the relationship between student and their teacher, or just a choreographer that they're familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think professional choreographers always have a quick go-to group of people because they know and they get it. And
exactly.
Yeah, there's not a world in which 7 professionals would have gotten it with the same quality and authenticity as my students, but it's to be expected because they know me inside and out as a choreographer. So
and that's why I think it's again with like the uniqueness of everything we saw at that show. Like you could see everybody's just unique vision and personality come through, and the people who executed everything. You know, there's a reason everybody was there, and there's a reason you 4 are here. You know, at the top of the cream of the crop, kind of. So yeah, we were just. I mean, I had never been to an ACE Awards before. Courtney, had you?
Me neither.
Yeah,
no.
So it was really kind of a special opportunity to be able to to see this back in action in New York City.
Yes, I'm
And
glad
especially
it's back.
There were participants from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
There were people from all over the country, showing work, which was also really cool and inspiring to see that it's not just people in hubs that are doing good work out there,
Yeah.
Yes. Well, y'all, this was such a great chat. Again, thank you for carving out time in your schedules on so many different time zones to chat dance with us and your choreographic process. I hope that all of our listeners out there learned something about what it takes to become a successful choreographer in all different sides of our beautiful dance world. And go check out all of these fantastic choreographers on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube. Look at their work. Take a peek and see what makes you feel something when you watch them. Why are they standing out to the rest? A lot of them are convention teachers. A lot of them are guest choreographers. And a lot of them you might even be competing alongside at competition with some of their routines as guests or with their studios. So be on the lookout for them in our beautiful dance world. Thank you to Madi, to Tommy, to Jason, to Courtney for being here on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Such a pleasure,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Okay, so would you all be willing to share one final thought to lead us out of this episode? Whatever you want to share to aspiring choreographers, to teachers, to dancers, to studios, to future ACE Awards participants, whoever you want to speak to just lead us out with your final thoughts.
I will say I made for so long so many bad dances, and to this day I still make bad dances. And just keep make bad work. I look back at when I was in school and I made this weird piece that was like half in silence and half to Anaconda. Like, what was I thinking? I don't know. But like,
Nicki
I
Minaj?
needed to. Oh, wait, sorry.
By Nicki Minaj?
It was just so random.
I just
It
want to
was
make
so
sure
random. I look back and I think, thank God how far we have come. Look at that. And I still make things today that I'm proud of it and I stand by it, but it doesn't connect to everyone. So I guess I'm just saying, keep making. It's not going to connect with everybody. Make those bad dances so that one day they're not so bad.
I will speak to the dance studio owners and the teachers, since that's primarily like who listens to this podcast. I would say I would encourage to diversify your training for your students' training as much as possible, and not just in styles, but in the people that you bring in. I look at a lot of the summer intensives or the programs that people bring in, and I look at the teachers, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of the same race, same voice, like. And I just think that it's such a disservice to your students to not let them be exposed to things outside of their comfort zone in the confines of their studio, which is such a safe space and perfect space for them to be stretched and for them to experience new movement. I was blessed as a teen. My teacher, I mean, she brought in everybody, and so I just think I would love to encourage studio owners to, just expand their horizons, as far as who they're bringing in and why they're bringing them in. I know a lot of the times teachers kind of stick to like, I'm like, you literally take from these same teachers at the convention that you're going to next weekend. So like,
Mhm.
why pay them more?
Yeah.
Like, do the thing, but like, do whatever you're doing. Like I know you want to like stay in good graces of whatever, but I just think that as a artist and less as a business, I get the business aspect of it, but as an artist training artists to expose and to expand their mind and diversity in their training, because the more versatile they are as a dancer, the better they're going to be, the more longevity they'll have in a career, whether they want to be in commercial dance, TV, film, concert dance, whatever. I think the best dancers out there are dancers that can come from my number, that can also go into Maddie's number, that also can go into Tommy's number, that also can go into Courtney's number. Those are the dancers that I want to work with. So I think that would just behoove you as a studio owner, as a teacher, to expand your horizons and get out of your comfort zone.
I think for choreographers, I think the biggest piece of advice I would say is just to spend extra time and effort to find your authentic idea, your authentic voice. I think in the dance culture, there are so many trends, and I just think we can so easily get sucked into the latest trendy thing, whether it's a piece, whether it's a move. whether it's a costume choice, it's just everywhere and it gets rewarded. And yes, it's hard to step away from the reward of what's trendy. But I think when you're training and developing dancers and artists and developing your own artistic voice, really settling in and trusting your ideas without them being filtered by outside forces is really important. And I think anything is valid if it comes along with intention. You can make the craziest idea look so powerful and feel so powerful for an audience if it just comes with commitment and with trust. So do the extra work, make it authentic.
Yeah, and I would say patience too. My biggest advice would be understanding patience within yourself, within your mental space, within your work. I feel like there's, which I touched on before, but there's like this fast track now that like everybody wants it like instantly. And I would say the same advice for choreographers. Just because we jump into choreographer land doesn't mean there's also a fast track there. And that can go hand in hand with like how much I see people charging nowadays that are like are fresh out of like, but I think overall, like they want this instant, like I'm at the top. And I would just say for anybody that wants to enter a competition like this and maybe doesn't get selected, you need to like learn patience within yourself and in your work. I would think that's my biggest thing. You can get it wrong. Like everybody just kind of touched on it. It's okay to get it wrong and try again and just like keep pushing. I think that like everybody wants it instantly. I know a lot of also peers and younger choreographers that submitted for this exact competition and were just like bummed out of their life that they didn't make it. And I was like, when I was 18, I was like, I'll do the small group for $100. Yeah, I'll do it. Like I just wanted to create, and I feel like we're missing that a little bit. Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our chat with the 2025 ACE Award winners. Congratulations to Tommy, Madi, Jason, and the winner of the 2025 ACE Awards, Courtney Barclay. Be sure to follow them on Instagram. You can find Courtney at Courtney Ray Barclay, Jason at The Jason Williams Experience, Madi at Madi Hicks, and Tommy at Tommy Tibbs. Mark your calendars. The ACE Awards are back this summer at the DanceOne Summit in New York City. If you are a choreographer interested in applying, submissions open in February 2026. Learn more on their website at danceonesummit.com.
Don't forget to follow Making the Impact on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you want more exclusive episodes, support our podcast by joining our Platinum Premium membership for only $5 a month. Subscribers receive free Making the Impact stickers, shout-outs live on the air, ad-free listening, and exclusive access to our Q&A episodes for members only. Join now at impactdanceadjudicators.com/platinum premium or click the link in our show notes.
Get ready for the DanceOne Summit in 2026. The experience for studio owners and teachers shaping the future of dance to unite, share, and inspire. Attend the DanceOne Summit for impactful movement classes, hands-on workshops, business seminars, and exclusive industry insights. Coming to you this summer 2026. Mark your calendars for August 13th through 16th in New York City. And we have an exclusive promo code at Making the Impact for $100 off your registration. Use the promo code 100SUMMIT2026. Learn more and secure your spot today at danceonesummit.com.
Season 7 continues in the next few weeks with a day in the life of a dancer on tour, a throwback episode, and an episode all about partnering.
We'll see you then.